All right, quick little video. I got this thing out again. This is that VX Gaming Sega Mega Drive clone thing. And I got it out for a couple of reasons. Someone in the previous video mentioned that I should have tried if Sega Master System games work on it. And I do have this Power Base Mini FM. This is a little adapter cartridge that lets you play Master System games on a Sega Genesis. It also gives you the FM audio that the Japanese Master System would have had, or the Mark III SG-1000 Mark III with the optional FM audio add-on. So yeah, you take your Master System games, pops on like that, and then of course that will fit in a Genesis. So in theory, this might work. Let's find out. We got nothing. This is hooked up properly. If we turn it on without a cartridge in there, we get the menu for the built-in games. But with the power base in there, oh, well, that's something. That's something there. Interesting. It doesn't seem like this is going to work. Yeah. Kind of getting the same thing every time here. Yeah, so doesn't seem like that works. But I got this out for another reason. Let's turn it on without a game in it and just load up Sonic 1. And I'll turn the volume up on here. So the music's running too slow. I don't know about the game speed. I think the game speed's fine because this is probably a PAL version of Sonic the Hedgehog, where if the CPU is running at the lower speed, the game programming was probably adjusted to make the game play at least not proportionally as slow. But the audio, I would say, is. So the audio basically is running at 50 hertz. Like I said in the last video, clearly the video output is running at 60 hertz because this monitor will not sync with PAL 50 hertz. But internally, maybe as far as the clock speed of the CPU goes at least, it's running at the equivalent of 50 hertz. So even though it's outputting a 60 hertz NTSC signal, internally it's kind of running like a PAL 50 hertz system would run the games. I've discovered it's literally just one jumper inside of this thing to get it to run at the equivalent speed of the 60 hertz. And I didn't open this in the first video. I thought about it, and I guess I forgot. I did want to open it and take a look inside. So now we get to open it, take a look inside, and we'll jump this jumper to force this to run at the 60 hertz speed. And then we'll check out the difference. So let's go pop this thing open. Alrighty, I got this blanket out here just so we don't scratch this precious, precious jewel of a rare console here. I got my trusty Phillips screwdriver out to get these 4 Phillips screws out, but realized this one's too big and they don't even go into the slots, so had to get a smaller screwdriver out. All right. Moment of truth. You ready for this? This thing's funny. The main board inside is smaller than I was even expecting. So, what are we looking at here? So we've got clearly the blob top. That's going to be the Genesis on a chip. That's basically the whole Sega Genesis right there. This is going to be the ROM chip that's going to have the built-in games built in. So you can imagine if we didn't need the built-in games, I mean, you could basically cut that out and you would have just this. So it's amazing. I mean, obviously this is running over to basically just the power button, the reset button, and your controller ports. All right, as for the jumpers in here, I'm actually not seeing what I was expecting to see. On the video that I watched, the guy that had his and was saying that it was running too slow, he opened up his. None of his jumpers were shorted. He actually added a solder, short here, where mine already has one. From what I understand, there's basically 3 jumpers here. The furthest 2, if they're closed, this thing would be running in PAL. And then the furthest right one is running in NTSC. And obviously, this is running in NTSC. If it was running in PAL, it wouldn't even work on my Commodore monitor. We would have had a black and white image. And if it was running at 50 hertz, my monitor would not have been able to sync with it at all. It did sync with it for the most part without that other issue with standing. So yeah, not what I was expecting here, and this is clearly in NTSC mode. These jumpers don't affect the region, like the region that the software sees, I don't think per se. This is literally just affecting the video output itself. And again, the video output on this is already set to NTSC, not PAL. So not exactly what I was expecting to see in here, but nonetheless, it was cool to see inside here. And again, to see how small that board is. Again, if we took the ROM chip off with the built-in games, you could imagine how small this board could be. And really, if you were to just move the controller ports to here, and even your power and your AV to here, I mean, you could really have just a small, really the size of a cartridge itself, this whole system in theory could be. But it's pretty amazing that, again, an entire Sega Genesis, the CPU, the graphics system, the audio system, everything is in here. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, anyways, that's that. Not exactly what I was expecting to see inside. Again, from the sounds of it, a lot of people that have these, I'm assuming they're in PAL regions where they're getting it. Yeah, again, clearly that's in NTSC and not PAL, and clearly it's running at 60 hertz and not 50 hertz. So yeah, is what it is. There's nothing really in here to do. The fact the music is running slow for me, I don't know if that's something we can fix here. I think that is just what it is. But again, nonetheless, it was cool to open this up and see inside. And we did want to test if the Master System converter worked on here, and it doesn't seem like it does. Now, as far as this thing goes in general, I got to be honest with you guys. This isn't something I bought because I wanted to play. I buy these for the fun of looking at them. I paid $40 Canadian for this, honestly, just to make a fun video, to have fun looking at it and have fun showing it to you guys. It's always fun to see these different things and see how they work. But it's not something I'm really going to keep or play. I'll probably just end up, dropping this off at the Goodwill or something like that the next time I'm in the area. Not something I'm going to hold on to. So before I got rid of it, I did want to open it up and take a look inside because, again, I had thought of opening it up to look inside in the first video and then I guess just forgot. But realistically, as far as like actually playing something like this goes, well, I have real Sega Genesis systems. And even beyond that, I have my Hyperkin Mega Retron HD, which this in itself is a Genesis on a chip. Clone style with the Genesis controller ports. This one has better audio than that one. It's still not perfect. It's much better, and the games run at the right speed. This has composite AV, but also HDMI on the back, and this also has switches on the bottom for changing the region, NTSJ, NTSU, and PAL. And as I've shown with this one, the Master System converter did work, and this did play Master System games. Although I don't think the colors were 100% right, if I remember correctly. So it did play the games, but they weren't perfect. But point is, even as far as clone systems go, if I was going to play Genesis games on a clone system, I would just use this. There's really no reason for me to have this other than, again, just the fun and the novelty of taking a look at it. So wanted to say that. I guess that's it. And see you guys later.